This is Robbe Hardnette on CX Talks Weekly. I'm glad to be here today, and I'm actually a little bit early today, and there's a reason for that. I have another schedule with one of my clients at 1 o'clock, so I did not want to let the day go by without meeting with the CX Talk because it is a weekly thing that I want to be consistent with. But so I figured we'd start early today. But I have a lot to get through in order to make my time at 1 o'clock. So again, I want to welcome you. Welcome to CX Talk Weekly, a weekly series that I do to come on to, as I always say, to hopefully ignite, create some sense of balance, give you some word of offering that may relate to you in some form or another. And CX, that's the purpose of CX Talk, is to come on and to be a weekly thing of an encouragement to you. So I'm happy to be here today, and I hope that you are happy to be here today. And I'm very excited. Today I have a lot to get through. So, like I said, first of all, CX Talk Weekly is a division of the compassx.org online website dedicated to providing tools to navigating life. And our purpose is that we want to support you because if you are not seeing someone on a regular basis as a coach or a counselor, at least you can, come on to CX Talk or go on to the compassx.org and see various information that can support you through your journey. So I'm very excited for that. Uh, I want to bring you up to some updates. I want to encourage you to go to the Compass X website on YouTube, where you can get all of the previous talks, where you can see the CX Talk S.G series, which is our special guest series that we have every month. And it's always featuring someone in the community or someone in stage or film or entertainment that are talking about their personal lives and what tools that they are utilizing in order to get through their lives. Last on April the 4th, we had Mr. Blue Man Kuma, who's a star of over 200 movies. So you can see what he had to say about his life and the tools that he is utilizing to make it through. It's a very, 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 very good conversation with him. And I also interviewed the personal life coach and medium, Natasha Venter, who offered some very, very good information on getting through these trying times. And she might be someone that you want to personally get in touch with because it was an amazing, amazing day of listening at her talk about how she can sense and pick up things and how she can support. It was quite the experience. I won't blow it by trying to explain it. So anyway, go to that's at the Compass X L.S.G channel on YouTube. Be sure to like us and to join as a subscriber to that because then you'll get to see all the latest information that's coming up. I'm going to talk a bit today about some things. As you know, you can see the Compass X LSG gmail.com that you can reach us on an ongoing basis to ask various questions, and we will answer those and get back to you either personally or through bringing it up on our CX Talk Weekly. I have had quite a few emails coming in over the past few weeks, especially today. I had an email today where an individual stated that, last night there was a shooting again. Once again, we're dealing with all of these tremendous, on top of the COVID, we're now dealing with other things of fatalities that are taking place. And so I received an email from an individual, several emails actually, but one most recently before I went on the air that said she had just about had enough. She's reached her limit. She's tired. She's feeling depressed. And, how do you keep a positive attitude in the midst of all of these adverse circumstances? And that's a very good question. That's a very real question that all of us are having to deal with at this moment. What do you do when you feel like you feel like you're just about ready to give up? And that's what she had said. So, what I want to do is talk about that today in the brief time that I have and give you some really foundative tools to deal with. And I had a gentleman last week who I knew quite well who had posted on his Facebook message that a same sort of thing. He has just about had it. He is wiped out, and he wanted prayers from everyone. And so it's first of all, be real like that. Be real and express that, because those of us who do not be real with themselves and just be trying to deal with it with either some types of drugs or some type of liquor or things like that to get us through, that is temporary. That is not going to suffice the underlying problem that we're dealing with. So we have to be at a great sense of being real with ourselves about that. And if we start with that, that is the beginning. So I'm going to give you some very solid tools just because of the time that we have right today. So, first of all, I'm going to say limit the amount of time that you do in looking at the quote news. I know we want to keep up with everything that's going on in the world because there is so much going on in the world that we want to keep up. But I want to say to you, if you are not doing something that is such as a daily regime, to support you in order to take in all of this information, you're literally going to be drowned by the information. And what do I mean by a daily regime? Those of you who are previous athletes or current athletes, or those of you who have been involved in some form of success that you wanted from yourself, you know that you needed to practice, practice, practice in order to be able to engage in whatever sport that is that you were trying to do. Life is the same thing. You must create some sort of daily regime in order to face the obstacles that you're dealing with. What do I mean about some kind of daily regime? Well, again, of those of you that are following me and know that I've spoke about this before, I say that what I do every morning is first upon waking up, I take 3 deep breaths. My purpose for taking the 3 deep breath is to realize that I just came out of a sleeping process and I'm coming into the physical aspect of this world. And that sort of aligns me, brings me to some sense of balance. And immediately thereafter I do that, I have what I call a heart of gratefulness, of being able to come into this, back into this space. And that's very important to even though you might be facing some difficult thing, have a heart of gratefulness that you're alive to even see it and deal with it. Now, some of you may say, well, that's why what I prefer is not be here and deal with it. But you are here. And so you have to face that. And in facing that, create a regime that can support you to get through a step by step process. So again, the 3 deep breaths to bring a sense of awareness, then a heart of gratefulness, and then I do what I call is a meditation. That meditation is to allow me to utilize the sort of quietness that I just had from waking up or being asleep into transitioning into the physical aspect of this world. And then I think about uh, I think about all of the things that um, or I try not to think about, let me clear that. I try not to think about all of the things that I'm going to be dealing with and having a sense of peace rely over myself so that I can actually start into the day with a graceful and positive step forward. That's the third thing. Once I do that, I immediately jump up. I immediately do my push-ups. Now I do a total of 100 push-ups in the morning, whether I break them into thirds or whether I break them into halves. Or sometimes I'm feeling so good that I can get through the whole 100. And so that's what I do. And then once I do that, those exercises are just like coffee. Boom, and then I get up and I face the day, and then I have a sense of togetherness about myself. So that's a daily regime. You do what you need to do that, but it is very important that you do that. That's the first thing. So the first thing is limit the time of bad news and create more time for good news, whether that is reading or whatever else. That's the day before, the evening before, that's doing the day. In the morning when you get up, do the regime that I just described in some form for yourself. Put it together for you. That one is put together for me. If you want to use it, go ahead and use that. Create a group, a positive group of people that you know, not panny anny people that's just going to pretend nothing is going on in the world, but people that are literally dealing with things, but they are practicing various tools that can help them make it through. That can either be your family, that can be friends that you've had forever. For some of you, that could be pastoral or fathers within a Catholic Church. If you're a person that seeks spiritual guidance, I don't care what it is, create a group, because in times that we have right now, you need that support. They need that support. So that's very important. So, and meet with them as much as could be allowed. For some of you, that could be weekly. For some of you, that could be monthly. And for some of you who are really dealing with some intensities in life, that may be daily. And most of all, do not feel shy or feel less than for crying out to someone. It is very important to do so. That's why we have so much problems going on. People have so much pride, or people don't want to deal with what they are facing, or they feel like no one wants to listen and not realize that there's many of us that are facing the same scenarios. And if someone just have the courage to reach out, then they could be the person that breaks the ice and allows the support system to take place. So please, please, please do that. Um, so that's creating a group of positive people on a weekly, daily, monthly basis. Exercise to some degree, please. Exercise is very important. Now, some of us, let's face it, some of us hate exercise. We don't even want to hear the sound, the word saying exercise. It's too much for some of us. So, what I will say to you, it's do what as minimum as you can. Like me, when I had fell off my regime, so to speak, I was not doing I was not doing 100 push-ups as I do now. So what I did was I had went through maybe 4 months of not doing anything. Just felt like, okay, I wanted to take a break. So what I would say to you is if you have a bike, ride a bike. If it's walking through the park, these are some pretty basic things. Just walk around the corner. If something is wrong with your knees or your ankles and you can't do that, then try push-ups. Try five. Try five. Go on YouTube. There's so many things if you just reach out for yourself. And I'm saying reach out for yourself because you're the ones that will be the beneficiary of you taking these steps. This one is pretty hard, but I want you to really take a look at this because this is a key factor. Being accountable of your actions. Being accountable of your actions. What do I mean by that? If you say something adverse or mean to yourself or to someone else, immediately take a look at it and immediately, even if it starts in your mind saying, I'm sorry. If it starts in the mind first, let's say you have so much pride, you cannot place from the mental into the verbal. At least start in the mental. And then take a leap of faith to say verbally that you're sorry to an individual. That's extremely important. And even more so to yourself, because let's face it, no one may be around when we make these mistakes, even on ourselves, by hurting ourselves, by doing some very harmful things to ourselves. Natasha, who we interviewed, who's the personal life coach and the medium, said something that was very important. And I encourage you to visit her. She has a show every Wednesday on Facebook, and also a show that she does on a radio show in Seattle if you get a chance. And her name is Natasha, Natasha Venter, Venter. Go see her, because we're all about supporting others who support others, and so we will keep the word out there. But she said one of the things that she does in addressing those heavy mental days that she may have is that she look at those things, which I thought was quite interesting, as friend, a friend of adversity and a friend of positivity. And she looks at those things, and she let's say if she's doing something that is not of a benefit, she literally takes the time to look at that and in her mind sort of communicate with that individual, talk about how they want to get better. So she breaks down all of these things within herself that she finds that are not of benefit and the things that are of benefit, and they are her friends. And in addressing those friends, they start supporting each other. Now that's an internal work. I encourage that if you have the skill sets to do so. If you do not have the skill sets to do so, I'm going to encourage you to get a coach. It is very important. Do not be shy about getting a coach. And yes, I am saying, many of you know that I am a certified life coach and also what I call street counselor. And street counselor only because I've been working so much with individuals on a day-to-day basis over the past 15 years with real basic realities of getting through, whether it's youth with gang, uh, parents who are dealing with their kids in very advanced situations. I've been working with them. This was before I became a certified life coach. So I have what I call the skill sets from actual application. So, but you must find support, because even an athlete, anyone that wants success, has some form of coach with them. So that's very important. That's very important. So be accountable to your actions. Please be accountable. And as you become daily, weekly, monthly, or even hourly aware of your actions, you will create or pave the road toward success of changing the very directions that you are going, because now you are looking at the reality of who you are, and you are supporting the process of waking yourself up. Hear what I said, of waking yourself up. And then as you begin to do that, if you need support as a coach or someone, but you're still proactive in the progress that you are expecting to receive, because You are instigating the process. So, being accountable. Okay. Being consistent no matter what. Some of us will fall off during the day or during the week. Or sometimes you may go months and months without doing anything, but just being like a ship floating out to sea because you feel, I just don't have the capacity to work on myself. Okay, I hear that. And what I will say to you is that that's not going to get you anywhere. And as difficult as it is, if you are tired of being tired in that process, you should or must reach out to someone or take the steps to do that. And then as you do that over and over, it's not going to be an easy thing. I can tell you that. For some of us, it will be very easy because all we needed to do is just have someone spark that innovation within ourselves. And then for others, there may be this really, really slow, seem like getting nowhere to igniting ourselves to take action in getting. Don't give up. That's the most important thing. Please do not give up. The battle is only lost when you give up. I say that. So, those are important things. Let me go back through that. First, creating some kind of regime at the beginning of your day. And then it's also good to have one at the end of your day. Please, please, please do that. Secondly, limited the amount of negative information that you're taking into yourself. That negative information can either be television, or that negative information can either be people that have been around you that offer no energy of encouragement. They're just constantly saying mayhem, mayhem, mayhem. Now, there's a difference between the person that actually is accountable with you, that that uh, don't just say yes to the things that you may be doing. There's a difference in that. Those people keep around you, and you will know if they're doing it out of love or if they're doing it out of spite or envy. There's a internal sensibility about yourself. There's a higher part about yourself that can feel when someone is about you, that really is loving and caring about you. So keep those around. Okay, don't get rid of those. So, but uh, you must create a group or a life coach or someone to support you to help you get through this. You must do that. Number three is extremely important. Exercise. Take on some form of exercise, no matter what it is. Let's say starting with, I'm going to go very basic here. Let's start with exercise of the mind. Okay, let's just do an exercise of mind. Then from the mind go into the physical, take a physical exercise, and that could be very minimal. Let's do that. Be accountable to yourself and others. Don't lie to yourself. If you do something wrong, say you're sorry to yourself, say you're sorry to someone else. Don't let it just go by and feel like, oh, I don't need to say it. Don't let that be part of the excuse that's keeping you from your own success. And lastly, be consistent no matter what. Uh, I want to encourage you to keep sending me those emails. Uh, for those of you who have those questions, keep sending me the emails. You can keep sending them at compass L.S.G. at gmail.com. Compass X, actually, I should change that. It's Compass X LSG at gmail.com. Keep sending me those emails. Again, that's wrong. I need to change that you see on the prompter there. It's Compass X LSG at gmail.com. Keep sending me in those emails. I will always answer anything that you have. I promise, I promise, I promise. And you can also get in touch with me through there if you need some one on one coaching. I do pro bono as well on some cases, depending on what they are. So definitely stay in touch and go to the YouTube channel and also the Facebook of Compass X if you'd like to keep up with us and know what's going on, and also see the previous talks. Very important to keep up with it because those also can be your daily reminders of creating a system toward a greater or maintaining a better health wellness regime. Okay. And lastly, it's always to remember this too shall pass. This is a biblical verse. This too shall pass. If you are working toward the best of you, no matter what the adverse situation shall be, this too shall pass. If you practice a heart of love, a love for yourself, a love for others, a love for humanity, you can make it through. Just keep moving forward under all circumstances. And keep sending those emails in. Practice loving yourself and others. And as always, I wish you love, peace, and follow the way. I'm Robbe Hardnette. I'm out of here. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you.